So I became someone else, okay? Let's call her Aunt Juliet, okay? What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Candace. I'm here with Confidential Talk. I wanted to tell y'all this story about how your girl got a little too lit and it ended up ending a friendship. This is one of my story lessons, okay? So hopefully you guys can gain something from this story, even though I am sipping on some Chardonnay as we speak, as I tell this story. So I've learned my lesson, but I still like my Chardonnay. So, but whatever the case is, I really think I'm a likable person. I feel like, you know, I'm pretty cool. I should be able to get along with everybody. Like, I feel like I'm just drama free. I'm just so cool. I just don't see how I could get in arguments with anybody. Like, I just don't see how people could not like me. I just don't understand how people couldn't want to be my best friend. Like, how could they not want to hang out with me? I'm cool. Like, I am the coolest. I tend to think of myself as a likable person, but I guess you could say that I might have rubbed a bitch or two up the wrong way. Okay, I don't know what I did. But, you know, I am a type of person that likes to self-reflect. And I've done a lot of self-reflecting and I've tried to change. I've tried to change my perspective. I've tried to be more open. I've tried to shut up a little bit more. I've tried to do a lot of different things to make it so I could build better relationships with people. But sometimes your girl just don't get along with motherfuckers, okay? Sometimes my personality is just not meant for some people, and some people's personalities is just not meant for me. Trust me, like, it's just, But whatever the case is, I'm just being honest. I'm keeping it 100 with y'all out there. But I'm gonna tell y'all about this situation. After I graduated college, I was kicking it. I was kicking it all the time. I was going out, I was drinking, and there was a group that I used to always do this with, and they were like literally the kicking it crew. They was always kicking it as well too. So, you know, I wouldn't say they were bad influences, but probably not the crew to be kicking it around with. But at the end of the day, we gotta all experience that, okay? We gotta all experience going out, having a good time, getting drunk, experiencing some crazy nights and some unexplainable events. You know, we all gotta go through that as long as we don't get arrested, okay? I mean, this is not that story. Whatever the case is, this was a crazy story and I learned a lot from it. So, you know, it's funny, but at the end of the day, you know, it woke me up for my personally. It made me realize I had a lot of personal growth and a lot of personal healing to do, you know, as somebody that was graduated from college and really didn't know what direction she wanted to go into. You know, I thought I knew, but I didn't, and I was really confused, and I was partying, I was having a good time, and I was just really distracted, and I was just really unfocused. I was always just drinking, kicking it with my friends, and doing stuff like that, and spending my money and not saving. So, and not figuring out what direction I was going in. So, lots to learn from this experience and lots to learn from that situation. But at the end of the day, we all have to have that moment where we have a really good time. We go party, have fun, as long as we don't get arrested, okay? And your girl almost got arrested that night. So listen, let me tell y'all the story. So I was friends with what's some names I could use? Brittany and Michaela. I was friends with Brittany and Michaela was my home girl. That was like my sister, my road dog, that was my bitch, okay? At the end of the day, me and her was like real close. And then we had Brittany, which she was like, we had met her around the same time, and we just kind of all like gravitated toward each other, and we kind of was like a threesome. So we used to all kick it and have a good time. Me and Brittany were really cool. We had our own personal relationship, but somewhere down the line, something happened. It was somewhere towards the end of our relationship where it just got weird. And, you know, I think I remember it was probably when we went out of town for New Year's Eve. Us three took a trip somewhere out on New Year's Eve. And I think somewhere in the trip, something got said between both of us. We wasn't feeling each other at a certain point, and it just got weird. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm the type of person that can bounce back from that. We can have a conversation, we can move past it, especially if we friends and we cool. Like, so if she was really holding some type of something there, I think she was really feeling some type of way. There's nothing I could really do about that. I was still gonna have a good time. I spent my money to be out there. I wasn't gonna be funny, you know, so I thought we were cool. So fast forward, she has this party at her apartment and I get really drunk. Okay, I get really drunk and I end up leaving. So obviously I don't know what's going on. So like I had friends tell me the next day what happened, and that's how drunk I got. I left the party, but I remember having a conversation with Brittany before I left, and in my eyes, she allowed me to leave. But to everybody else, she was trying to get me not to leave. But I feel like you shouldn't have let me leave, like, at all. Like, if you know how intoxicated I was, why would you even let me leave? Like my friends should not have let me leave, period. Like, I'm clearly, like, not in my right mind. They should not have left me leave. I wouldn't have, honestly, if I had a friend that was that intoxicated and I was trying to get them not to leave, I wouldn't have let them leave. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just, to this day, I still kind of feel that way, okay? At the end of the day, she's not my mama, but if you my rollie and you my friend and you know I had to drink too many, you should make sure my ass don't leave, period. And I would do that for any of my friends, period. So that's just how I feel. Whatever the case is, you know. So I left the party. I end up driving and pretty much about to get on the highway to go home, but I passed out. So I'm hanging outside of my car. My car is parked on the side, literally right before I go into the highway. Now this is super, if you really think about it, this is super dangerous. This is like, oh my God, like I had to really like self-reflect here. I was just like, okay, you know, one, I should never be drinking this much, you know. Two, I should always have a backup plan, you know. And I was young. I will say this. I was very young. And it was one of those moments where it was really a wake-up call for me. Because, you know, the police officers that end up helping me that night, shout out to the police officer that did help me. They end up literally parking my car for me. Instead of giving me a DUI, they end up parking my car for me and actually taking me downtown to my friends to take care of me. So they were really nice, and I got so fortunate that night, because I know a DUI is nothing to play with. It's super expensive, and once you have it, you are fucked. So, you know, like I said, huge learning lesson. Like, you know, I don't want you guys to be watching this and listening to me and like, oh my God, and judge me, because, you know, we all have our moments, and that was my terrible moment, and it led up to the other terrible moment. Okay, so I became someone else. Okay, let's call her Aunt Juliet. Okay, we're gonna call her Aunt Juliet. I was Aunt Juliet that night. I was not playing with nobody. Once I got to the club after the police dropped me off, I was so angry, and I can't remember those emotions. Literally, this was so long ago. This was years ago, so I can't exactly remember the emotions, but I do know how I was acting, and it was not cool. Like, it was like I was literally a totally different person. You know, I cussed out Brittany. I went off on her. You know, I cussed out Michaela. I cussed out all my friends. I felt like they weren't there for me. I felt like they let me leave the house, and, you know, I was too intoxicated to drive, and at that moment, I'm literally so messed up. Like, I've had so much to drink. You know, that party, they had brown, they had white, they had this, they had that. And at that age, I had just graduated from college. I'm like, because honestly, I was that person that didn't party all throughout college. Like, I partied a little bit. I did go to parties and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. Like, during college, I did party. But I didn't, like, party heavy like a lot of college students did, because I really did take my education serious. And I had to be in class in the morning. So, a lot of times, like, I did drink and stuff, but I wasn't getting plastered drunk and going out doing super crazy shit. Like, it wasn't like that for me, like, you know, during college. Like, I had my moments during college. I'm not saying, like, I wasn't, like, turned up. I definitely was turned up. But I wasn't, like, to the point where, like, I was after I graduated. Like, I literally had, like, a good 8-month period where I was just kicking it every week and, like, hanging out with my friends all the time. Like, that night when I got to the bar and I went off on Brittany, you know, some of the things I said, I guess I said to her, really rubbed her the wrong way. You know, I think I might have called her a bitch, you know what I'm saying? Oops. But, you know, I think it was just kind of like my demeanor, the way I looked at her and stuff like that. I feel like it really rubbed her the wrong way, which, you know, again, I don't know who I was. I was on Gillette. I was not playing. Like, I was not. But, you know, I don't want to ever become that person because I can't control that. Like, that's not who I really am. To even if someone makes me upset, you know, I'm not the type of person that is like vindictive or like want to look at them in an evil way and want to like wish harm upon them and do anything like that. I'm not saying that I did that night, but you know, I'm just not that person to have that no self-control like that. I'm not that type of person. So I didn't like where I was. And at that moment, I realized, damn, I'm too turned up. I'm doing this too much. I'm too comfortable kicking. I'm drinking way too often. You know, I had to, obviously, you know, she didn't want to be my friend no more. And, you know, honestly, it really wasn't a loss. I wish her the best, of course. I never wish anything ill upon anybody. But, you know, I definitely don't feel like that was something or a friendship that was benefiting me whatsoever. And eventually it would have went away anyway. So it was like, all right. It's cool, you know, hope she's doing well and everything. But I really wasn't, you know, hurt by losing her as a friend. I don't know how I sound when I say that, but I don't really feel like the situation, what came from it was, oh, I lost a friend. It was, I gained something from this. I realized that I need to chill the fuck out. I need to be more responsible. I need to get my life together. I need to figure out what direction I'm going into. I need to stop drinking, kicking it, turning up. I already graduated college. You know, I was kind of maybe still holding on to that life or maybe trying to get something out of it that I didn't have before. But it was time for me to put that away and actually focus on being an adult, because this is when the real bills start to kick in, and this is when the responsibilities really start to kick in, and the questions of what the hell are you doing with your life. So, you know, a lot came from that situation. And, you know, I definitely am super apologetic. I was apologetic when it happened the day after. I definitely apologize. At the end of the day, I never want to come off like that to anybody, even though that friendship was going nowhere. I definitely never want to, you know, I never want to rub anybody the wrong way to the extent that I rubbed her. And I know that she saw a part of me that was just not okay that night. So, you know, I'm definitely apologetic still to this day. But it was a learning lesson. I had to learn, you know, put down the bottle, okay, and the marijuana. And I was very fortunate that the cops did not turn my drunk ass in. You know, I was very fortunate that they took care of my car for me. They took me to a safe location. And, you know, I used to smoke back then. So God knows what my car was smelling like when they took care of my car. So, you know, they were really looking out. But yeah, lots to take from that situation. You know, hopefully you guys learned something from this. After that situation, I really had to look at myself like, you know, that wasn't only a situation I put myself in harm's way. I could have put somebody else in harm's way. So I really just don't condone drinking and driving at this point. It's really unsafe. And, you know, my friends should have not let me leave that party, period. That's just how I feel. Like, I wasn't in my right state of mind. Like, but, nah, like, they wasn't lit like me. They wasn't lit like me, y'all. But, you know, I don't know. I'm definitely not blaming my friends, though. It was totally me. I shouldn't have been drinking like that. I'm not blaming my friends. I'm just saying. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to my story. Hopefully you learned something today. Please don't, like I said, please don't judge me. I'm telling y'all, I'm being honest with y'all. I'm telling y'all my naked truth. Okay, this is, you know, the real. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like my video, you know what I'm saying, like my story, and subscribe to my channel, become part of the Confidential Talk family, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.